Hello, I'm here. Grace Harper, 28 years old, and I will never forget the day I walked into that Denver courtroom. Behind me, the heavy oak door echoed with the sound of my crutches against the polished floor. Every step was agony. But I stood tall. In front of me, my family sat smug in the gallery. Certain they had already buried me, erased from the future I'd worked so hard to build. But when they saw me alive, their faces drained of color. And when the woman beside me entered, my father leapt from his seat, shouting, "Oh my God, it's her." The entire room froze. They thought I'd never rise again. They thought my $10 million contract, my life's achievement, was theirs. But they were wrong. Months before that courtroom showdown, I was on top of the world. After years of coding, sleepless nights, and relentless self-doubt, I finally had it, a signed $10 million deal for my AI algorithm. I remember the moment clearly. It was the culmination of everything I'd dedicated myself to. I, Grace Harper, had just brokered a deal that would change lives. I'd created an AI system that could diagnose diseases earlier, more accurately than any human. My hands trembled as I left the sleek Denver office tower. I was 28 years old, and I'd built something that could save lives. I drove home, eager to share the news. I pictured smiles, congratulations, pride. Instead, I walked into a storm. As I stepped inside, I saw my sister sitting at the kitchen table. She was 32, perfectly polished and put together, as always, the golden child. I held up the contract, grinning from ear to ear. I did it. 10 million for my algorithm. The deal's done. Her lips curled into a sneer, not in joy, but in rage. Your algorithm? You mean the one I oversaw, the one I pushed through months of meetings? She stood up, towering over me, her face inches from mine. Don't forget who helped you, Grace. Don't get cocky now, but I was too excited to listen. I shoved past her and headed to the living room to call my dad, to tell him to celebrate. But as I reached the top of the stairs, disaster struck. My sister blocked my path. Going somewhere, she snarled. Before I could respond, she shoved me hard. My body tumbled down the wooden steps. Pain exploded. Darkness swallowed me. When I awoke, 2 weeks had vanished. I was in a hospital bed, machines beeping around me, pain burning through my leg. How had I gotten there? Where was my family? Had they come to visit? To tell me they were proud of me? The nurse hesitated before answering my questions. They haven't come, Grace. They said you brought this on yourself. That you shamed them. What had I done? I tried calling my parents, but neither picked up. My phone vibrated with a text from my sister. Get ready. Dad's coming to see you tomorrow. Then she vanished again, leaving me alone with my questions and my pain. The next day, my sister appeared, her face impassive, still clinging to life. Grace, you're holding everyone back. She spun on her heel and left without another word. She didn't ask how I was feeling or offer support. She was gloating. That night, I checked my bank account. It was frozen. A court order had stripped me of access. My medical records showed I'd been in a coma. Doctors had performed surgery on my leg and transferred my assets to someone else. But who? My sister. She was erasing me from my own life, stripping me of my achievements and my future. A few days later, my best friend visited. She was the only person who truly understood my struggle. As she listened, her eyes filled with anger. "She stole everything from you, Grace. Your money, your contract, your future. She even changed your medical records to make you look worse off than you really are. So my sister was trying to bury me, to take over my company, to make sure I was too afraid to fight. But she underestimated me. With the help of my lawyer, I checked out of the hospital against medical advice. I wanted to confront my sister, demand answers. But when I got to her apartment, she was gone. Only a note was left behind. "Out of the frying pan and into the fire, Grace, you can't hide forever. Soon it will be too late." Her words stung, but they also fueled my determination. I would find her, I would expose her actions, and no matter the cost, I would take back what was mine. My investigation uncovered a shocking truth. My sister hadn't just acted alone. My parents, my own flesh and blood, had been involved in her scheme. They'd willingly let my sister steal from me, betray me. Why? I'd given them so much, achieved so much, all for them. They should have been proud. Instead, they chose her, the golden child, the one who never struggled. The day of the trial, the courtroom buzzed with anticipation. People whispered about the Harper family, the tech prodigy who'd fallen, and the golden child accused of stealing it all. My lawyer laid out the evidence in front of the jury, showing how my sister had forged my signature on important documents, hidden crucial data, and even paid a coworker to lie on her behalf. Each piece of evidence tied my sister deeper into the web of deceit. The stakes were high. The truth was crucial, not just for me, but for others. Taking the stand, I recounted every detail, my voice trembling but unwavering. I told the jury about the years of work, the torment at the stairs, the coma, and the abandonment. Most importantly, I explained how my sister had lied to everyone, claiming my work as her own, keeping me out of the company I'd founded. The courtroom was silent as I spoke, captivated by my story. The jury nodded, understanding my pain. After 3 days of testimony and deliberation, the verdict was delivered. My sister was found guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced her to 4 years in prison, sending her away to face the consequences of her actions. The ordeal took its toll on our family. My parents, exposed as enablers, were ostracized by society. They lost their jobs, their reputation, their dignity. I was left shattered, but determined to pick up the pieces. With the help of my friends and colleagues, I rebuilt my life. I reclaimed my company, made changes to ensure transparency and accountability, and continued developing my AI technology. I channeled my pain and anger into innovation, creating software that saved lives and improved healthcare worldwide. But the scars of betrayal ran deep. I cut ties with my family completely. There were no more calls, no more visits, no more apologies. I didn't need them. I had a new family, a community of friends, and colleagues who supported and loved me. I knew the truth. They tried to erase me, but all they did was make me stronger. Looking out at the Denver skyline, I feel a sense of pride. I may have stumbled, but I rose stronger, more resilient than ever before. My journey wasn't easy. There were days when the pain was unbearable, both physically and emotionally. But I never gave up. I fought for justice, for recognition, and most importantly, for myself. I am Grace Harper, and this is my story. Thank you for watching.